Gonna wait for this to kick in. It's already.
Now, Woj said that the Heat, Clippers, and Sixers are three teams that will have interest in Dame. But he said he wants to go to the Heat, so I don't know. I think he's gonna go to the Heat probably, but still.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, guess who's back? Back again. Spacers are back. Tell you. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. After a very, very long hiatus, this is my 50th time saying that on the show. We are back. I'm not gonna lie to you. Personally, we do gotta be better. And at this point, those words don't mean jack shit no more because we haven't been better. So, but we have to be better. But the truth is we're back. So that's good. Okay, it's the summer. All right. We missed a lot of things, but now we're here to talk about those things. And so, like I said, we're back. Of course, you already know who it is. It's Sean Roy in the cut. Nice to meet y'all. Joined today by the two other spacers, the Mickey Mouse ones. We got John Jacob. I'm just kidding. We got Mr. Estefan Boyle.
What's going on? Glad to be back.
And we got Mr. Aaron Joseph.
What's good? What's good?
And yeah, guys, without further ado, let's get it popping because there's so much to talk about. But first and foremost, we want to say congratulations to the Mile High City, to the Denver Nuggets for winning the championship this year. It's good to see. The city of Denver hasn't been relevant since the Broncos won. Actually, I'm just kidding. No one cares about football.
Yeah, no one cares about that.
No one cares about football.
Well, there's probably more people at that parade.
I don't care. Anyway, so I'm happy for the Nuggets. Good to see them winning. I personally, low-key, always thought that a Jokic-led team would never win a championship, but he proved me wrong. So it's good to see.
I
Good for
proved you
Denver.
wrong.
Huh?
I said I proved you wrong specifically.
Yeah, sure, Derek. Right, but anyway, listen, great championship, great championship run. I think I think in every round you kind of saw how good Denver was, and I think people continue to kind of doubt them in every round, but they kind of just showed that they were kind of just like a tier above every other team in this postseason. So, major props to them for cooking and winning the championship. And accordingly, we'll talk about this during free agency, but now you're seeing the role players getting paid, and now you're seeing how a lot of teams are going to try to emulate what they did in terms of getting those those versatile guys in there and all that. So. Yeah, boys. What are your thoughts on the Nuggets winning the basketball trophy award?
Well, they kind of ran through the West. We thought that the Western Conference playoffs were going to be really competitive, and to a point they were, but the Nuggets just were a tier above everybody else. It seemed like all postseason they went 16-4, swept the Lakers in the conference finals, who ended up being a lot better than most people thought. And then in the finals took on.
Wait, Steve. I'd rather my team have gotten eliminated in the first round or second round than go to the.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah.
Gotta throw that in.
But yeah, they beat the Lakers in the sweep. The Lakers looked really good though. And then they took on the Heat in the finals, who were the 8th seed, who were literally minutes away from being eliminated in the play-in by the Bulls, who then made a crazy historic run. They get all the way to the finals. And even though some people were saying, this Nuggets run was pretty weak just based off of the seeds of the opponents they played, those opponents that were put in front of them were there for a reason. The Heat beat the Bucks, they beat the Celtics, the top 2 teams in the East. And then the Lakers beat everyone who was put in front of them, the Grizzlies, who a lot of people were high on pretty early. And then the Warriors, who, even though they kind of took a step down from last year's championship run, they're still the Warriors at the end of the day, and everybody was saying that, Warriors over Lakers in 7. But, props to the Lakers. They came up on top in those series as well, and they were a formidable opponent for the Nuggets. But the Nuggets swept them as well and made their way to the title. And I'm happy Jokic finally got that championship after, like you said, a lot of people said, a Jokic-led team can never go all the way because he's a defensive liability, quotations. But he proved everybody wrong.
Yeah, I can't really be too mad, honestly. Like, if it was like, Suns or someone like that, going all the way, I would feel some type of way. But the Nuggets they're just more talented than any other team. Obviously, the finals was. I mean, it could have, in my opinion, I wish it was a little more, unpredictable. But we in the end, we really knew like who's gonna win from the start. Um, but their roster was really constructed well, and they had all the pieces. Um, yeah, like when they were playing the Lakers, it was I got really mad just seeing all the shots they made, but at the end of the day, they just made shots. You gotta live with it. So, uh, it, in the beginning of the season, wasn't really my pick to go all the way because I honestly thought it would be the Bucks again, but and on the other side, the Heat did beat the Bucks. They beat the Celtics. Who else they beat? The Hawks.
Knicks
Oh, the Knicks.
beat the Hawks. The Hawks beat them in the play-in.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, but I mean, no one expected them to make it to the finals at this point. Well, at the point they were at, the eighth seed, and losing in the first game of the play-in. So it's just kind of crazy to see. They did lose some pieces. Both of those teams did lose some pieces in free agency, which we will discuss. But well, as of right now, Dame time might be coming to Miami, so that's going to be a big change. But we got to see what they're cooking in a couple days, couple hours, couple minutes, who knows?
We're
But
off to a
yeah,
hot start for free agency, but we'll get there.
yeah.
Facts. But yeah, great points, gentlemen. I think we were definitely traded to a good postseason. I think in terms of like each round, a lot of like drama, a lot of storylines, a lot of good stuff. But I do agree. I think everything was good, and then the finals was kind of just more so we kind of like it was like 5 game series, right? Like I guess that was like the one because I felt like every round before that there was a lot of like chatter and drama and buzz, and then finals happened. And it's like pretty chill, like no beef. You know what I mean? Nothing like too crazy happened. So that's probably like the one like quote unquote disappointing thing I guess about
It
this year.
wasn't entertaining 5 game series though. Every game the Heat were in it, except for game one. But
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I think the only because my only issue was like the Heat was in it, but there's like a certain point I feel like in the like a in like late third, early fourth, where you kind of tell like they kind of got, you know what I mean? Like they kind of got beat. Like I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it. They were in it, but like you could tell that like they don't have enough gas to like overtake them type B because they did that one game too, I think, like in on the road against Denver. That was impressive. So I was like, okay, and then we were that got interesting, but then in the games after that, it was kind of like, all right, like never mind, like. You know what I mean? I guess Denver just kind of was like, all right.
the Jokic Murray pick and roll was kind of unstoppable, especially when Miami had to make the adjustment to put Butler on Aaron Gordon after he was just destroying them in game one.
Mm-hmm.
So not having Butler
Yeah,
defend that pick and roll on Murray
yeah.
kind of like sealed their fate.
Mm-hmm.
They just kept making shots the entire playoffs and
yeah.
pretty crazy shots. Pretty I don't know. It's just
Like
it was insane to see just what kind of shots they were making. But
I mean, the Heat were
day,
too. The Heat are just the third team in playoff history who were a negative point differential in the regular season to go on to the finals. Like they were not able to shoot at all during the regular season, and then everybody was just making everything.
I think just like
to Kevin Love to Gabe Vincent, everyone.
Like just position by position, you already knew. Like I think like the Nuggets had a way better. Well, they were better almost at every position. I feel like, but just like the wing position, I feel like they had a better advantage there with Porter Jr. like kind of going off than Aaron Gordon and like KCP going. I feel like that just like they were hitting a lot of threes or running in transition. They're a good transition team. We already knew that, but they just all showed up. I don't know if there was like one player that just like had a down series. Huh?
I said there wasn't just one player that stood out. It was just that whole starting as a whole was just they meshed incredibly well.
They all like peaked like at the same time, which is ideal, and they were healthy. And it was like it all worked out. So it's really
yeah.
So the finals happened, and then
congratulations to the Nuggets. We want to briefly discuss the draft before we get into free agency.
Yeah, so guys, so the crazy thing about the draft, ladies and gentlemen, 49th pick, Imani Bates. It's out as the next LeBron prospect wise. So that's what we got to talk about. So it was a good draft. Moving on to the free agency. I'm playing.
Wait, hold on. I want to just like I want to mention what is it? Let me do the math real quick. About 32 picks before that is the rookie of the year in Jalen Hood-Schifino, and I just wanted to make sure everyone put your money down on Jalen Hood-Schifino FanDuel Rookie of the Year awards. Also, if you need a FanDuel link, let me know. I got you.
Oh,
We ain't
Just
sponsored
want to
though.
make sure it's better. It's good odds right now. Don't listen to any of the so-called analysts because I'm telling you right now, I've seen enough.
Fans, if you actually want an actual gambling pick, I'd do Imani Bates. I feel like he can win an MVP if you really wanted to. So might as well put an MVP on your ballot as well for Imani Bates. So forget we're thinking above. You mean?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. And then in other news, I mean, no one really cares. Like Wembanyama went first. Okay, cool. No one cares.
I'll tell you though, the real rookie of the year is going to be undrafted Sixers two-way free agent Traquavion Smith.
Okay.
He
Yeah, listen,
was on a
y'all
lot
can
of
fight over
on a
rookie of the
lot
year
of
all you
mock
want.
boards. He was projected to go in the 30s, and he ended up going undrafted, and we got him. So good
Okay.
pickup for us.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
Imani was supposed to go number one a couple years ago, and
Yeah,
went to
but then
Sacramento
he started shitting the bed in Memphis and fell off.
at Memphis. But he was only like 17, 18 years old, so I'm not gonna hold that against him. He reclassified. All right, so that was basically senior year of high school that he was in college. So I ain't gonna count that against him. And then he went to Eastern Michigan and he started doing some crazy shit. So I can't wait. It's gonna be a great time. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. 6'10" guy, step back, cash. Coming off a screen, cash. All right. Mid-range pull-up, cash. All right. He's just like me, but but sexier. Anyway, but yeah, the draft went as I guess as a lot of people expected. I think stuff like what's his face, Scoot not going number two surprised a lot of people. AKA Paul George Lover went number two. So that was came as a surprise, and names like Cam Whitmore falling. And I think
Brandon
overall
Miller,
it was
Brandon Miller going number two, and then going on to say that Paul George is better than MJ and LeBron.
yeah.
Great pick for Charlotte.
The dick riding crazy. I'm sorry, but but I mean, it was a good draft though. I think we traded some good trades. I think before draft night we got a crazy trade in the Marcus Smart to Memphis trade, and all of that. So it was a pretty good draft night.
Chris Paul to the Warriors.
Chris Paul to the Warriors. Like so, it was a pretty good like draft night. Not much to say just because like I feel like not like anything out of the ordinary happened, but it's good to see the Spurs got another elite guy again. And I think the top teams made some good choices. So that should be good. That should be good. I guess I can't wait to see what happens. Especially now with I guess transition now to free agency, just because I guess it's kind of easier. And like the most recent news that just came out as of the start of this podcast, Damian Lillard has indeed requested a trade from Portland. This does come a little less than 24 hours after they gave the bag to Jeremy Grant, which is insane to me. But just transitioning off the drafts, they got Scoot Henderson, so I guess they have some sort of a direction they're going to try to head with, with Dame and whatever package they get in return. But this is definitely very interesting developing news, because I remember I was telling Steve and Aaron and all my friends, I was like, listen, I don't care about the Dame situation. Nothing's going to happen, but now something's happened. So now, I'm posted. I want to see what happens, but I'm thinking it's going to be Miami. Brooklyn and Philadelphia are also linked to him as well. I'm curious to know what you guys' thoughts are. But I hope it's Miami.
I mean, that's the most likely destination. I feel like just because from the start, it seemed like Miami was his choice. They've been saying it all summer long. It feels like honestly the biggest winners of this trade news, of this trade request news rather, is all of us. Just because now every morning we hop on Twitter, the first thing we don't have to see anymore is a Dame feelings update with the front office. Every morning it's something different, just using synonyms to describe how he feels about the front office and what they're doing and his relationship with Portland, yada, yada, yada. We finally have a direct answer coming from his guy, Chris Haynes himself. He has requested a trade. It's eventually going to happen. and it'll probably be Miami. I think Brooklyn would also be a pretty good destination as well. Uh, Even though Miami like is kind of the clear number one option, I guess at this point, there are other places that can probably give more enticing packages than Miami can for Portland specifically, like Brooklyn or I don't know. I don't know if I saw the Sixers weren't willing to include Tyrese Maxey, so you could check them off. I mean, check them out of the running.
But
I guess.
Tobias, bro.
Oh
Tobias
yeah,
and Paul Reed,
bias. That's a
done.
bias. But
Yeah,
anyway, yeah, I feel like Brooklyn could probably give a more enticing package than Miami can, but at the end of the day, they're probably going to want to honor what Lillard wants because he's been there for so long and he's been their franchise player for all these years. Unlike Bradley Beal, he doesn't have a no trade clause though. So not Brooklyn, Portland can do what they want and they can gauge other interest.
So Lakers are.
No, I'm fine. Don't worry. If he wants to play for like the vet minimum, sure, but
you won't do a sign and trade Reeves for Lillard.
Nah, I'm chilling. D'Lo,
Crazy.
sure, but
That's insane.
What?
I'm being genuine. I'm being kind of genuine. I don't know.
That's insane.
If I do D'Lo, sure, but and every first round pick until like 2035. I'm being for real. I'm not joking. But
you can tell us with a straight face.
I'm not reading that, but you're tripping.
I mean, how old is he? Like 35 now? 34?
Dude, Reeves is like 26, dude.
No, Lillard.
Dame's like 30.
He's like 30. I think he's 30, 31.
No way.
He was drafted in 2012. He's not that old.
Older than Kyrie. I know about a year.
32. I mean, I guess. I do like the depth we have now, so I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, it can't be just Reeves.
No way. Reeves straight up. Just Reeves straight up.
Reeves straight up?
Didn't you think about that? That's insane.
I don't know, bro. I love Reeves a lot, so I don't know. It's just like you. Like, would you trade? You traded Sexton for Donovan. That's like that kind of.
That's a no-brainer.
But it was three people. I would do calling for Donovan straight up. Yeah, sure. But I'm not gonna do like. Yeah, but no, that's not the same thing. No, we're asking one person, one for one. Like we're.
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay.
All right, but anyway, Portland commits to a direction. They got Scoot. They still have Shaden Sharp, who a lot of people are very high on from last year's draft. Simons is still there for 3 more years. He's one of the better like pull up 3-point shooter guys. High volume, he shoots a good percentage. Like you said, they just signed Grant to that big deal, so he'll be there. Like even though it is a very large contract for a guy of Jeremy Grant's caliber, he's also turned himself into one of the better like catch and shoot 3-point shooters last year. Actually, he shot over 40% for the first time in his career. So another good piece to have around guys who they're trying to develop like Scoot and Shaden. So I don't mind the deal as much now with this being it, but I'm assuming Portland probably has more up their sleeve in regards to guys like Nurkic after the Dame request.
Yeah. There is some.
Some comments.
There's some. Yeah, the comments. So I guess on the topic of sort of the Blazers because he played there, but any thoughts on? Jermel says, any thoughts on Carmelo potentially coming out of retirement as a bench veteran?
I don't see it at this point, to be honest.
I mean, if he does is going anywhere, then he probably go to the Suns. But I don't know. And stop the cap? No, I'm not stopping the cap actually. Okay. So, and then also just want to backtrack. Sean Jacobs said, Embiid led team, smokes the Jokic led team.
I think you've seen so far, Sean, that is not indeed not a true statement. So that's his.
An Embiid led team has to first be able to smoke a Horford led team before you can get the Jokic. So.
And then Sean Jacob also said this is a Mickey Mouse podcast. So thank you so much, Sean Jacob, for your input.
Yeah, thank you for the comments.
I really don't remember asking. I'm really trying to remember
Nathan, I'm assuming Custern, thank you for your comments. We back. Indeed. And yes, Jamel said, what are your thoughts on the Lakers rebuild? I guess we could get
Rebuild?
to that soon.
No, it's talking about the one before LeBron came
Retooling.
in.
Oh, retooling.
So-
Okay.
Well, he said rebuild, but I'm assuming retool. But we can get to that soon, or what else happened? Anything major? There was a lot of re-signings. Kyrie re-signed. All those rumors are gone for this summer at least.
The fake leverage he tried to pull by saying, "Oh, I'll go sign a minimum.
Yeah,
You have to give me the max, or else I'll sign a minimum." That's some crazy leverage he tried to get there.
Oh.
and then the deal gets reported a second in free agency. Okay.
Draymond back to the Warriors, another big re-signing, and also
Yeah. So
he kind
I
of
have
took
an idea. I have an
kinda took
idea. So
a slight pay cut for what he was supposed to. He was supposed to get like 3 years, 100 million. He ended up taking 4 years, 100 million, which saved them
yeah,
the tax.
I was kind of surprised to see 4 years, but I guess that's lined up with Steph's contract. I don't know what his contract is, but
Yeah, so
um,
he's there for the long run now. And another re-signing was Kyle Kuzma, re-signing with Washington. I believe it was 4 years, 107 in that area. Good for Kuz getting his bag. A lot of people thought that the Rockets might throw him an offer, but it seems like a lot of people were using the Rockets cap space as like leverage early on.
Yeah.
And Kuz ended up going
You
back.
go to that nut ass team.
except
He ended up going back to
Fred
Washington.
Van Vliet.
That nut ass team, bro.
Van Vliet did.
Van Vliet.
Yeah. If we want to talk about the Van Vliet thing real quick, just because I mean all summer, even before free agency started, I think you guys saw all the reports about Houston wanting to hit up like Kyrie and trying to get James back or trying to like talk to other guys that are like big names. And the funniest thing about it is like, bro, like why would you commit? First of all, so all these names, why are you trying to get all these names? Second of all, you're throwing the bag at Fred Van Vliet. Third of all, your team is just ass. It's still AAU team. Like, I don't know what they're trying to cook. It's just Nick Nurse, but an AAU team now. So I don't know what direction they're trying to be heading. And I ain't please going to do shit for him. I'm sorry. Like, I just spit over my computer screen, but he's not going to do shit. He's not going to do shit for that team. And I don't really understand what they're trying to do in Houston. Like, it's like they're trying not to like, they're trying to take themselves more seriously, I think. But
I mean, I could see. I mean, with the new CBA, with the whole new there's like a new thing where you have to spend at least 90% of your cap space. Like in the past, there seems like the Thunder a couple years ago where they weren't spending like any money at all whatsoever, and the CBA made it that way you have to spend 90% of your cap at least now. So they need to spend it on somebody anyway. And Van Vliet's a guy who can come in and, you know, although he was pretty inefficient the last 2 or 3 years with Toronto, he's still he's still a good guy to have there for their young pieces. Like he could play off ball. He's a scrappy point of attack defender. Like Houston doesn't have literally any good defenders on their roster at this point. Jabari Smith's still making his way. They've got Şengün. Like I think bringing in some veteran. Houston definitely needed some veterans for this team, and Van Vliet, and they're kind of in the mix right now for Brook Lopez / Dylan Brooks. So bringing in some veterans is what this team needs.
Hold up, but you think 40 million is worth it for?
I don't think he's worth $40 million, but who else were they going to spend it on? They have a lot of young guys.
Don't spend it. No, like their team is just ass.
But they need to spend it.
Bro, wait, is that came in this year? That kicked in this year? That rule?
It kicked in literally this morning. Yeah.
That's so nutty. Like, bro, I don't know. I don't know.
They need to spend money, so why not just it's only a 3-year deal, and they're not going to be competitive in 3 years anyway. So why not just have a guy come in as a veteran? They need veterans on this roster.
Yeah.
Like they're literally last year we saw the last 2 years Rockets could not play winning team basketball for the life of them. So having a guy like Van Vliet who was on a championship team, that's a good guy to have in the room with them.
I mean, it's a start. They did need veterans, and they also got like a lot of they got Ime at coach now, so see what happens there. But also, what was I gonna say? Huh? Oh, dude, I saw a report yesterday that the Lakers are about to use their full MLE on Eric Gordon. I was gonna jump off a bridge if that happened.
I don't
So
think he's gonna
Remember,
get
remember
that.
last year they wanted like a first round pick for him.
yeah, that's crazy. Let's see what else. What was I else gonna say? Jakob Pertl, and speaking on the Van Vliet leaving, they did replace him with Schroeder, two for 26 million. It's not a bad deal. And then Pertl, 4 for 80. That's I guess that's good
It's good
business.
value for Pirtle.
Yeah, I
I
think that's
don't
good.
like. I mean, sure, they're good players. The Raptors, but the Raptors are kind of just like in the same scenario as the Bulls right now. They're just kind of like, okay, we're getting these good players, but we're not going to be good enough. They're just kind of like in
Stuck
the
in
middle
mid.
there.
Yeah. Also Desmond Bain getting the highest. Well, him and
I'm
Tyrese.
sorry. Listen. I'm so sorry. Listen, I want to say a quick thing, Steve. I know that's your man's.
Don't say it, dude.
I like Desmond Bain.
He's worth every penny. With the direction that the cap space is going, the deal makes perfect sense. He's making like what 25 to 30% of the team's cap. That's like that $40 million deal is like equivalent to like $17 million 10 years ago.
I'm trying to find how long is the thing?
It's 4 years or 5 years, I believe. 5 years, 207.
205.
I don't know. I always see those
And
figures.
that's also and the 207 is also factoring in like unlikely bonuses and stuff as well. So it's not that's like kind of a fake number. It's a little bit less. Same with the Halliburton one.
Yeah, I don't.
That's
I'll just say for right
that's
now,
what
I'm
you
not
pay.
sure if I'm
That's what you
rocking with it,
pay
but
for guys who are borderline slash all stars players.
I thought that was more so for all-star players, but
That's
I
that's
can see what you're saying, yeah, Christy, but I don't know.
what are you gonna do?
Uh,
Not pay him?
I'm not saying don't pay him. No, definitely pay him. I just don't know if I'm in love with the figure, is what I'm saying. Like, but I definitely pay him.
That's
I'm
the
not saying
figure
don't
for
pay him.
that's the going price for everyone.
I mean that's fair. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that is true. Like the numbers did go up for a lot of people. I do agree. It's just I'm just thinking about like just knowing what kind of player he is. Like he's good. It's just like I say, he's not like a
He's very
surefire
good.
all-star perennial guy. Yeah, he's very good, but he's not like
Before he got injured at the beginning of last season, he was in All Star. He was averaging through like the first 15 to 20 games of the season. He was averaging 25, 4 and 4.
yeah, but I mean that's all cool, but like again, I want to see a whole season of that. And like I get it, again, injury happened, I get that, but I'm saying like I need to see like a whole, proof of concept before like I just like if he did that whole like efficiency played the entire season through and replicated that in the playoffs sort of, then I'm 100%. But I'm just saying like I need to see a whole like precedent for that. Like you know what I mean? Like again, like when I see a 205 5-year like max, I want to see like I want to see like a perennial guy. I want to see a guy that's like, oh shit, like you know what I mean? Like obviously Desmond makes really good and his skill set's crazy and his shooting's crazy. Like definitely paying though. I don't blame him for doing that. It's just
Uh,
I don't know. I mean, he
I
probably
just
won't prove me wrong too. Like I said,
I
like
wholeheartedly
I'm not saying
disagree.
he won't. I'm just saying.
He like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, he was frozen for a little.
But anyway, yeah, I disagree with what he said about Desmond Bain there.
I mean, I can see what he's saying, like, but I don't know if what's it called? I'm pretty sure that's the max he could have gotten. I don't know if he could have maybe gotten a little bit less, but he would have probably said no. I'm not sure, but like you got him for the 5 years, it's good, but 205 when you look at it, it's just a big number. So
it is a big number, but that's the direction the cap is going now. A lot of players are going to be getting a lot more money, and that's just the going price for young players who are blossoming into star players.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying people are saying I was tripping for wanting to give Colin 20 last year, but
I
So
don't think Colin Sexton's
also
worth $20 million though.
I think he is. Or he was before his injury. I gotta see how he rehabs, but he definitely was though.
Except double standards then. Double standards.
I mean 20 is fine. I'm just saying, but this is a whole 40. This is a whole different ballpark.
But he's worth it. There were 3 players last season to average 20 plus points, 4 plus rebounds, 4 plus assists, shoot over 40% from three. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Desmond Bain.
That's an ESPN stat.
That was on ESPN stat. Those are regular numbers.
No, that's some good numbers. I'm not gonna cap. I'm just saying. Listen, I just want to see a whole proof of concept. Is what all I'm saying. But all right, like I said, like you're right. He's a good player, so he probably put me wrong. Like I'm just saying. As of right now, I was kind of like a little bit shocked by that. But I get it. Like cap space moving up. You know what I mean? Trying to retain him. That's cool. Like, but I I mean, if you guys want to talk about the other one that's similar to that, I mean, we just talked about it before the Halliburton deal. Obviously, I like that because I think
every penny.
Yeah, because I think Indiana's obviously committed to him being the guy moving forward, and obviously he's really damn good. So that's fine for that. And then the other one that me and Aaron were actually talking about, Steve. I don't know if I asked you. I don't know how you feel about it, but well, actually, no, I did ask you about it. But the Bruce Brown contract. Obviously, he's a really good role player. How Denver utilized him was really good, and he's like the perfect connecting piece for that team. So, and I remember saying it in the chat yesterday. It's usually after like role players win championships, they usually get the bags thrown at them, and you see them leave for other teams. You know what I mean, when their contracts were up. So this is another one of those instances right there. So Bruce Brown got
I messed with the deal because I said I messed with it because Bruce Brown was going to get around like 15 to 17 mil from anyone else who had the money anyway, and Indy wanted to ensure that they got him. So 2 years 45. What a lot of people didn't see is the second year has a team option.
Oh yeah.
So if Indiana starts like kind of blossoming into a better like playoff playing caliber team this year, if they really want to, like giving Bruce Brown that 22, 23 million in year one, he's if he agrees to kind of take on less money next year and sign a longer term extension with them, they could decline the team option and give him that as well when they have more money to spend. So, I think it's a good deal all around. And also Bruce Brown, like he fit in with Denver last year, he kind of fits in right there with Indiana too. They run a lot of pick and roll. So he's having like that kind of, Bruce Brown's kind of like a pseudo 4 in the way he rolls to the rim. That's kind of exactly what they needed. They tried doing that with Aaron Nesmith, and now they got Bruce Brown to fill in that role. So I think it's kind of perfect fit for them too.
Yeah, definitely gonna be interesting to see what direction they go. Because we saw that they got the Miles Turner extension done earlier in the season. So I just want to see what team they are next year. And they still got Buddy Hield on their book, so I'm gonna be curious. I'm gonna try to trade him soon. And see what they kind of get for that in return. They traded Chris Duarte to the Kings for what? For draft compensation? For money? What was
second round picks, I think.
Yeah, I thought huh?
Basically for nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought
they just needed the cap space for Bruce.
I guess that's fair, but
I kind of like that for Sacramento low key too, because Duarte's rookie year, he kind of really complements Sabonis' game. So he goes back to Sacramento to play with Sabonis again. He'll be a good bench piece for them. Probably a slight upgrade over like Terrence Davis, who's a free agent now. So
is he now?
Yes.
I think you guys know what team.
Probably Milwaukee or Boston.
No.
Boston just got O'Shea Brissett. So
yeah, no, I'm not talking about those teams.
Oh, I don't know what team you're talking about then.
It's near Lake Erie.
Well, they already got some players. If you want to talk about it.
I mean, shit. Like, yeah, let's do it. Let's all right. Let's talk about the greatest team on the planet right now. The Cleveland Cavaliers. What? My bad.
Karis LeVert, Max Strus, and George Niang.
Honestly, listen, I'll say from a perspective of a Cavs fan, LeVert was my priority signing just because I liked how he fit in with us and how he played with us, especially to end off the season. And I feel like he was our most consistent player in the playoffs. So getting him back, especially on a good deal. It's a mad cheap contract, so that's good. And then Max Strus, obviously, everyone knows how good of a shooter he is. I think he kind of showed in Miami's postseason run, so I'm definitely happy we have him. Another 6'5" wing, I guess we can add to our team. Definitely needed that. And then we also had George Niang from the Sixers. On a 3-year, $26 million deal. Again, another really good deal. It's also very cheap. A good guy that can, hit threes. Obviously, I mean, it's not like a guy that can, come in and, play every single lineup per se, but, definitely a good guy to have off the bench. He already has, chemistry with Donovan and all that. So, definitely a really good start. I think we definitely addressed like the two main things, like shooting and kind of more of that size, I guess. The only thing I want to see now is if we can pick up a good, backup center, that'd be very good. Maybe like a Mo Bamba, or something like that. or a Jock Landale or something like that, I'd definitely be happy with that. And then, yeah, honestly, like I said, I mean, kind of upset about the whole, Lamar Stevens being out thing, but I think as far as it goes, I think as of now, like I think going into next year, like in terms of getting our shooting done, is pretty good. So all I need to see is a good backup big. Yeah, honestly, a pretty good start. I'm actually kind of happy about this. And I knew we were not gonna make a crazy move. I mean, Windhorst is gassing it up, and I was low-key thinking, Miles Bridges, but I don't know like what that situation is there. They're trying to, get him to rescind the qualifying offer. So we got to see what goes on there. And if we're still down, I think we still have about like 14 mil left or something like that.
14 million.
So yeah, I think so. I gotta recheck that. But yeah, definitely off to a good start though. I'm definitely happy we did all this and got this out the way because I was kind of stressed in terms of the names we could land and the skill sets we could land. So yeah, definitely going forward. I'm kind of liking how we're starting off.
Yeah, you kind of hit it on the head. Main things the Cavs needed were a little bit more size in the wing, and obviously like off-ball three-point shooters, movement shooters.
Mm.
And Strus and George Niang are probably two of the most qualified guys on the free agent market who could do that.
Yep.
So, two guys who make perfect sense for the Cavs rotation. Like you said, LeVert, he kind of showed that he was one of their more like reliable options, and especially come playoff time when Okoro was kind of struggling, they went to LeVert. And even though they lost the series, he showed that he just showed that they needed another guy who could put the ball on the floor, create offense outside of Darius and Donovan. So, it makes sense to bring him back as well.
Mm. I mean, so yeah. I thought he was better than, or he was more consistent than Donovan Darius, but I'm not even thinking that, like I'm actually being dead ass. Like I actually did think he was getting some more of his spots and his shots than the other two were, in my opinion, based on what I saw. But my bad, Aaron, I don't want to cut you off.
No, so I was just saying the shot chucker didn't have a what's it called? Shot chucker didn't have a great season this year, did he?
A great season? That's an interesting take.
He didn't make all NBA. No,
he did make all NBA.
No, but
not first team.
What's it called? So I think well, first of all, when I saw Niang signing, I could have swore someone put a typo and said it was 62 million instead of 26.
Yeah,
and I saw it, I was like, it's pretty crazy. And then I saw 26. I saw it again like 2 minutes later. So 26. I'm like, oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like this, they do obviously have the guards and the bigs. They just need something in that middle sweet spot. Unfortunately, this may push Isaac Okoro back in the depth chart. If you want to talk about that.
I mean, like I said, I hope we trade him because I want to see his breakout performance somewhere else.
I mean, they could still use Okoro. Like he's not obviously they're probably going to start with him, I would imagine. But
not the intended way that Christie would like, unfortunately. But
yeah, definitely not. But
they still need that point of attack guy in the bench role, and kind of maybe a spot starter at some points too, just because there's only so much Evan and Jarrett can do, I guess, against certain teams holding down the paint. So, Strus, although he is a great shooter and he's going to make that offense look a lot better, more fluent, he's still not he's not a bad defender by any means, but he's not the guy you want to put on the other team's best guard/wing player.
Definitely not.
So I know Okoro could still have some use for this Cavs team.
I think he will too. I mean, I'm definitely, I think off the bench, like second unit, whatever. I think he definitely will. Obviously, I prefer that he starts. I think he's putting in the work, so whatever. But
it's just good that they have the insurance that you don't need to rely on Okoro. Like if he's not hitting his threes, then you can go to guys like Strus, Niang, whoever you need.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So I ain't too worried about it. But like I said, I mean, if Trace Songz, what happens is if he wants to go to San Antonio or something, and him and Wemby become the next crazy duo, so I can't wait. So I don't know. I can't wait for
They already got the superior player in Lamar Stevens.
Oh, also true. I'm so sad about that. R.I.P. Hello, my boy. I'm just saying though, year 4 for Isaac. It's the same year that Butler started popping off. So, right on the development path. So we're good. But I guess moving on. Actually, I guess you know what? So we get to the Cavs. I would move on to the Sixers, but they haven't done jack shit. So But we could talk about the
Yeah,
rumors.
we're just kind of in waiting mode right now.
Yeah.
Harden opted in, which kind of surprised some people because all offseason long it was like he's either 50-50 staying with the Sixers, going to the Rockets, and then the last couple of days it was like, all right, well, it seems like it's a done deal. He's going to be back with the Sixers. The Rockets have their sights set on like Van Vliet and whatnot, and then all of a sudden you get the news he's opting in and he's going to be looking for a trade. And at first they said the two most likely teams are the Clippers and the Knicks, but more so the Clippers just because the Knicks doesn't really like on court fit wise and just asset wise in general doesn't really make as much sense as the Clippers. The Clippers have been looking for their like playmaking guard to have next to PG and Kawhi for years now. They tried Westbrook this past year, and once again guys got hurt, so they didn't really get to see how it worked out all too much. They had John Wall for a little bit. That experiment did not go well at all. They had Reggie Jackson, who had a good 2 playoff series, but again, he's not like the playmaking guard that they were seeking. So now, if they can land James Harden, that would probably give them their best shot that they've had in the last couple of years. Even though, like I said, with the Sixers, Harden wasn't my cup of tea personally on most nights, but he still did make Embiid better. He still did make guys like Maxey a lot better in the setting them up. So I still think it would be a good fit for the Clippers, especially if they're only going to have to trade like Norman Powell, Marcus Morris contracts to get him. It's kind of an ideal fit for him.
Right.
So makes sense, I guess. As for the Sixers, it's I don't know if I'd say it probably is a slight step back in the grand scheme, but I don't really know where this is going to begin with. Like I said before, actually no, I haven't said it on the podcast because we haven't recorded since the playoffs started. But
Yeah.
After our second round exit, I was just kind of like, I'm personally kind of done with this. I don't really think we're going to make it too much further with this team than we have, and I wouldn't mind. It seems like all roads are pointing to Embiid eventually asking out, whether it's this year, whether it's next year, I don't know, but I would not be
See that
shocked.
smile on your face, Christy?
Yeah. I'm back in here. This shit, guess what? Yeah, I can't wait. Like I said. But it sucks. I think it beats Miami in 2 years, so we good. We big chilling. But yeah.
Yeah, but I would rather maximize his value while he's still in the peak of his prime, rather than wait too long, like Washington with Beal and end up getting nothing. So while we still have him, I'd like to cash in on the assets if possible, but it looks like we're going to run it back one more year with whatever we can get for Harden. Plus, I don't know if they're planning on moving Tobias or not at this point, but yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
We're still kind of in wait and see mode with the Sixers.
Facts.
Yeah.
Not team.
I feel like the trading Embiid part is kind of valid. All you have some kind of asset, but I don't know why. Well, they're probably trying to trade Tobias, maybe, but they probably should at this point. They're gonna lose him for nothing except free up cap space later on. But
dude, we should trade him for Zach LaVine.
Oh yeah, I bet Sixers fans still love that. Just trade Tobias Harris for another Tobias Harris for 4 more years.
I wouldn't say that. LaVine. I don't mean to take a shot at LaVine. LaVine, great player. He's gotten a lot better the last couple of years, efficiency wise and everything.
Yeah,
but it's just 5. That contract is a lot. It's just kind of us recycling and starting over again where we were.
Yeah.
Just
personally, a lot
from
better player though.
From a Sixer standpoint, I would not like it.
We got some questions in the chat. My bad, guys. Sean Jacobs says no one cared about the Lakers, little bro, which we will talk about next. Sean Jacobs, so stay tuned. Jamel Patel said Kyrie play style is better than Kyrie team loyalty. Okay,
I don't know what that means.
The sky is blue. Sebi Roy asks, is the guy in yellow single?
Yeah, he is.
No, but
he's mine.
I love that comment. That's a great comment.
That's crazy dick riding, but don't play it. Okay. Anyway, boys, let's talk about the Lakers. All right, so transition to the Lakers. Aaron, how are you feeling about what? Get Rob on the phone. How do you feel about Rob?
Put Rob on the phone.
Yeah, how do you feel about what Mays did?
Well, I was not expecting the Torian Prince signing because Loki, I didn't even know I didn't even know he was a free agent. So it wasn't even like on the names mentioned for us to really sign. So that was very surprising.
Wolf
We
declined his option like a few days ago.
Yeah, but still, like, I just didn't even see that as a name for like us to really get. But we essentially traded Troy Brown for him, which
Yeah,
I mean, huh?
upgrade, slight upgrade.
I think so.
Yeah, like
I like
Troy
Troy
played a
Brown, too.
lot in the beginning of the year, and then here and there, but kind of like lost his minutes as we made the trade for Vando, and then Rui came on. But I like the signing so far. I really wasn't expecting any of them except I was expecting Reddish low key, so that was like a lot of buzz, and then Rui. I'm glad
Some
we got
jealous
him
about.
back.
Yeah,
Huh?
I'm jealous about the Cam Reddish thing.
Yeah, yeah. I was expecting the Cam Reddish thing. That was a lot of like buzz going that way, but and the Gabe Vincent signing was very surprising to me. I
Yeah,
was fully, I mean, there was all the buzz for the full MLE going to either to like Bruce Brown or like Brooke Lopez rumors, which I didn't really think was going to happen. But Gabe Vincent, I was not expecting that to happen.
Stop blazing, bro.
Yeah, I gotta stop blazing at our own my team doing their job, unlike the Sixers doing absolutely nothing right now. So how about you focus on your team, little bro Sean Jacob?
Little bro.
And hold on, let me pull something up. Yeah, I do like our guard depth so far. I think we're gonna re-sign Reeves, obviously, which and D'Lo, but that's just a waiting game at this point.
Yeah. Hoping the
I'm
Spurs throw that.
hoping.
Hoping the Spurs throw that 4-year, $98 million offer at him.
No, I mean either way, I wouldn't even be that mad at the that contract either way. But if we can get him, I mean, even if we do get Reeves on that contract, and then I'm looking at the point guard market right now, and like, if there's anyone trying to go for D'Lo, then it's either maybe Utah. Who else was there? Who needs a point guard? The Magic.
No,
Like maybe. It's like
I don't know
maybe.
the Magic.
So
I don't know. They're probably fine. I feel like
Magic
they
help
no,
the
so I'm
Magic.
saying
Have,
so like the point guard market's really dry. So there's really no like not big of a demand for D'Lo right now. So that's good news for the Lakers at least. But
Mm.
so
I
if we
saw
can
the
get him on like 18, 17 million a year compared to like 20, 22-ish, then I think we have enough money to re-sign Lonnie, which would be kind of cool. Or what's it called? I think it's just re-sign Lonnie. That doesn't open up cap space because we have his bird rights, I think. But yeah, I like the move so far. We just need a backup big. Maybe Mo Obama comes back for a vetman. I don't know. Oh well, we signed Jackson Hayes, but I still want another big because who knows if AD gets hurt again, then our only big is Jackson Hayes, then we're screwed. So
good roller.
yeah,
J Huff.
huh?
J Huff.
J Huff. He's a
Oh
wizard.
no, but I do like
Oh
Colin
shit. Oh
Castleton.
yeah.
Colin Castleton. I forgot what college he's from. He's our undrafted guy. We just signed to a two-way. Let me see what I think he's from Indiana.
I think so too.
Uh Colin Castleton.
Aaron Castleton or Kaepernick?
No, he's from Michigan. Yeah, the dude's he's like 7 foot, average like 3 blocks a game in college. He's a big lengthy guy. I was hoping he could like put on some muscle and hopefully do some work in summer league. You got to see what he's gonna do. I doubt he's gonna get minutes or anything, but it's just like a nice developmental piece. And speaking of J Huff, we did lose J Huff, so we don't have his rights anymore, by the way.
Yeah, I forgot about
So
that.
yeah, it's kind of unfortunate because he would be nice. But yeah, I'm kind of hyped.
Personally,
For you guys. Huh?
if I was Reeves and the Lakers offered me 4 years, 52, I would not accept it.
Well, I mean, that's the most we could offer him. So
I know, but I would just want a shorter term deal instead, so I can try to get paid later. I wouldn't take a 4-year, 52 after the playoff run he had.
mm, I don't know. I mean, it's because I feel like he's gonna get an offer from somewhere. I don't know if it's gonna be the full 98. I mean, if it is, I genuinely again I wouldn't be mad. because he does deserve it, and then I wouldn't mind paying him that because it's not an egregious deal. Like so, like it, and plus like for right now, he'd be either way. Whatever deal he signs, he's going to be making 12 million this year. So the cap hit wouldn't be that bad, and next year too. I think it's the same thing. It's just going to be like the next, the last 2 years of the 4-year deal. So it's going to be like 20 something, high mid 20s, high 20s. So I really don't mind that at all for someone who does all the dirty work. Like, and his rookie year, he was great defensively and then kind of shaky on offense. And the second year, it was the opposite. He wasn't really shaky on defense. He held his own, but his offense really skyrocketed. So I'm hoping he could continue that like scrappy defense and just like he's like literally the perfect guy to have with LeBron. And for the future, like pulling in my Drewski reference, his good record, clean record, mom and dad at home, and but yeah, I mean he's a really good dude. Like I just he's like I really there's no like limits to his game really. Like he has decent size for a position, and he holds his own on defense. He's a great shooter. He's improved, really consistent. So and he's proved himself in the playoffs. So I really don't know what more you could ask.
That's true.
You can play him at the point if you want to. Like I wouldn't mind that either. So I'm throwing the bag at him. I'm still holding my point that I don't know if I trade him for Dame, but I'm still
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I'm being for real. I'll say it with straight face.
Yeah, put on your grave. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
They were the straight face.
Yeah,
yeah.
With a straight face right now.
Insanity. If I was Lakers, I would just not sign Reeves and not sign D'Lo and just bring Russ back instead.
W take. Jamel Patel asks, is Austin Reeves sneaker deal, does it factor into his contract? I don't think that's how it works, so no.
So he's gonna be
he's getting paid from like it's like a Chinese shoe company.
Yeah.
I forgot what shoe company it is.
It's
not Li Ning.
It's not Li Ning.
It's not Li Ning. I don't
think
it's
tier.
What's it called? Yeah, it does not. But if you guys want to chime in on your thoughts on the move so far.
Yeah, no, I was about to say I think the guys that the Lakers signed was definitely pretty good. I think Rob kind of learned his lesson and signed a bunch of wings, so I think the wing depth is really good. And as of last night, what was it? They signed Rui, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought he'd get paid more. I know Steve said he didn't like the contract, but I honestly thought he'd get more money.
I don't hate it, but I don't know. He was a guy who I know it's a new situation, obviously, but for 3.5 years at Washington, he was very, very, very inconsistent. He's only like a 1.5 level scorer. But he, like I said, he balled out with the Lakers in those. What was it? What series did he go crazy in? Was it in the
Grizzlies
first round? The Grizzly series, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the Memphis series. His shooting, it was just he was never a consistent 3-point shooter, and then all of a sudden he popped off. So I don't know how like real that is just yet.
I don't know. They were tracking those. I think his 3-point numbers. He got better as the months went on because they were saying that Phil Handy was working with him and shit, and it's like
it makes sense. Yeah,
his release point got higher and something like that. So I think the he kind of did put the work in. So
he doesn't have to really like. He's not a top 3 option either. Like maybe like if like D'Lo's in the lineup or like going, it's not even going through him. Like he doesn't really have to initiate that much. He's just like really consistent when it mattered. But
that's what I mean. It's just like I just think it's a little bit of a risky deal. 17 million a year for the next 3 years. I think it's a little bit risky.
Maybe.
I don't like the deal. I thought it
with LeBron on the roster, it's not risky, but when he's gone, we'll see. I don't know, but
yeah. But again,
I still love their offseason so far, though.
Yeah, I think they've been having a really good offseason. Like I said, like it's just in terms of the guys they signed, and some very reliable guys, like guys with size and bigger bodies in general can shoot. So that's one of the biggest things. Like Aaron said, I like Jackson Hayes. Before the draft, I still like him now. Obviously, I know he has his flaws. He's still kind of raw a little bit, but I still think he'd be a serviceable player. But I do still think the Lakers should, look to find another big, whether it be Mo Bamba or someone else, or maybe someone like older or something like that, maybe someone buskier. But yeah, I think so far, I think I don't know. Lakers definitely had a top tier offseason, and then we'll talk about the Suns next. But yeah,
Do
obviously.
you think Lakers fans would still rather just sign Kyrie to a max?
There's people who were like saying that until he signed his max deal, which is kind of crazy. But I don't, I don't know. That they're just like there's a lot of people like saying like, oh, because the Suns got Beal, we gotta match that. Like, bro,
Oh,
let's like, bro, it doesn't really make any sense. But okay,
Real quick before the Suns, I just wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel about the Cam Johnson Brooklyn extension?
oh, I was surprised by that. I thought Cam was for sure gone, either to Indy or Denver or like somewhere else. I was kind of surprised he went back. What was the numbers?
4 years, 108, 27 mil annual.
Yeah, that's sturdy. That's sturdy. I mean, I think that's a good deal for him. It's just I just didn't think he'd end up in Brooklyn, but yeah, I mean,
They
I'm
did
kind of
that Joe
surprised.
Harris trade before with Detroit. They cleared
Yeah,
up the money to make sure they were able to retain him.
yeah. I mean,
Yes,
definitely good on them for retaining him because he's a good player. So
yeah, one of
forward.
the better
So I mean,
shooters in the league.
yeah.
His
that's
on
big
ball
for him.
reps got a lot better too after the Brooklyn trade. So I
Right.
like it.
Exactly. Yeah, I like him. I like it. I was just confused. I mean, I was surprised it was just them, but apart from that, yeah, I think it was good. Good
Mhm.
deal.
I
But
mean, he's like the prototypical like build you want right now. So
Yeah.
big, can defend, shoot. Like that's really so you can't really ask for more.
Mhm.
yep. Do we want to move on to Phoenix
Yeah,
with their bludgeoning of minimum deals to start off the free agency period?
I'm
So
down.
Yeah, they wasted no time.
I'll go through it real quick. So I was kind of confused at first when they renounced Jock Landale because he was one of their better players last year. But they ended up signing Drew Eubanks instead to a 2-year, $5 million deal, which I don't know if I'd say it's an upgrade, but it's a guy who's like on that similar level as Landale. So I like that deal. Eubanks was pretty good with Blazers last year. They brought back Damian Lee on a 2-year minimum. No, he was with their system last year, a good shooter, had his best shooting season. Keita Bates-Diop, who I think is a very underrated signing for them. He had his best 3-point shooting year last year. He's a pretty good connective playmaker. He was one of the Spurs' best defenders last year after like they kind of took a step back with Keldon wasn't what he was before, and Keita Bates was in the starting lineup with quite often with them, and he was actually really good. I felt like he was really underrated last year, so I really like that pickup a lot. He could close games for them. I feel like, and then the Me Too movement, Chimezi Metu,
Yeah.
1 year. Josh Okogie's back. He was starting for them after the whole KD deal. And then Yuta Watanabe,
On my
who
wrist.
is 52% corner 3-point shooter. He didn't get enough minutes in Brooklyn just because they had so many wings, and I like to see the opportunity he gets with them. So overall, they made the most of the limited deals that they kind of had to do after
Yeah.
trading for Beal and having absolutely zero cap space. So, that's a pretty solid roster, I will say.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people thought they were
Unfortunately.
just going to, a lot of people saw that they were working out like Jabari Parker and Mike James, and they were like, oh, this bench is going to be atrocious. But,
Yeah.
I feel like they did pretty good with the hand they were dealt.
I agree. Some quality guys, like I said, Eubanks, I'm really jealous of because that's another guy that I really did want. And then like you said, Keita Bates-Diop is pretty nice. Watanabe, another name that, again, like I think everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people do know his capabilities. He's never had that burn before, especially with Brooklyn or Toronto. Like I feel like so. I think with this team, with kind of the needs that they have, he'll definitely have more of a role. And like I said, I think just having a good like wing of his size that can shoot. So that's definitely good for them too. So I'm kind of jealous of them, or I'm kind of upset because it's the Suns, but they definitely got took advantage of the limited money they had just because like the quality of guys that they got is really good. So
I will
um,
say, I think they could still use like one more on ball type offensive role player off the bench. Like they have campaign still, but I
I mean, they
would
probably start him though, right?
campaign.
At
I
point,
don't think they're going to start him.
you don't think
I don't,
so?
I don't think
Who's
you
from
can.
point?
Booker Beal just sharing point guard reps. That's what they're
You're
going to
gonna
have
be
to.
losing a lot of games if you have campaign starting.
Yeah, just for defense purposes, you cannot have campaign start with that unit.
That's
But
fair.
Yeah.
But
I
they'll probably have a
don't,
Kogi.
but
I think I would assume that Kogi keeps the starting spot for the time being. But yeah, if they could bring back like one of their T Ross, TJ Warren guys from last year who were they got better with them as the playoffs went on in that Nugget series when they won those two games, they were kind of important pieces for them. So if they could bring back like one of those two, that'd be solid too. But
Yeah.
I think what they have right now, they did a pretty solid job with what they were able to do.
Yeah.
Do we have any other like under the radar moves that you guys messed with that we didn't talk about yet? Like trying to look through what we. Oh, I realized we forgot to talk about Chris Middleton going back to
Oh
Milwaukee.
yeah. Mhm.
3 years, 102. Kind of a little bit less than a little bit less than the deal that he opted out of, which I guess makes sense though because he spent most of last year injured, and he was him and Drew particularly both kind of struggled in that series against Miami in the round one.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a pretty team friendly deal for what he does. He's still a 3 level scorer for Milwaukee. He's been there pretty much his whole career at this point. So they did their due diligence. He's back.
DeAndre Jordan getting 3 million for being a locker room guy. Kind of crazy.
Sure, that's easy
Oh
bread.
yeah, I will talk about that. The Nuggets, obviously they weren't going to be able to retain Bruce Brown for the price he was going for. Makes
Yeah.
sense, not their fault.
Yeah.
But they had the taxpayer MLE of 5 million. I was like, okay, they can get a decent guy for that. And then they just gave it to Reggie Jackson, who was not in their playoff rotation.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising.
That was
but
very interesting to me. I was not
yeah,
a fan of that. I think that's probably my least favorite move of the offseason so far.
yeah, it's a little weird. Speaking of another weird deal, we talked about it too, the Nas Reed deal. I think a lot of people did expect that he's gonna get a lot more money, especially the way he was playing for Minnesota, and a lot of people did expect that he'd go to a different team in general. But he ended up staying for 3 years, 41 million. It says right. Which again, I was thinking like I don't know. I'm definitely not that though. You know what I mean? Especially not with Minnesota, just because of their first of all their center depth. It's like okay, he's coming off the bench. Like he was still doing good. It's just I just thought he won more of an opportunity, more of an actual carved out role. So first of all, that was surprising, but especially the money too. But like I said, I think shout out Chris Fedor. He was talking about one of his podcasts that like a lot of teams like cap space isn't much of a huge luxury right now. Obviously next year the whole thing could kick in, but as of right now, it's nothing crazy. So that's why kind of deals have been a little bit quote unquote underwhelming. But as far as Nas Reed goes, I was still kind of surprised by that regardless, just because like I feel like a lot of people were talking about him, a lot of teams were kind of like interested in him and all that. Definitely a skill set that a lot of teams could vet, even though he's from New Jersey, that's one issue. But I think still a very talented player. But I was surprised he just kind of ended up staying. But they also got Shake Milton in Minnesota too, which I think is a good pickup for them. Alexander Walker, again, I like his game a lot, so I think it's good that he stayed. And then Troy Brown Jr., like I said, I liked him with the Lakers, so again, another like wing guy to have. But
Solid bench
yeah,
moves.
yeah, so solid, yeah, so really solid bench move. So
Seems like they're going to lose Jalen Noel now, though. So
oh yeah,
the
that's
Shake
true.
Milton signing. So
I
he's going
wonder
to go
where he's
somewhere.
going. I'll take Noel on the Cavs. He's nice. I fuck with him heavy. Actually, can I even say it on this podcast? I'm sorry, but
All right. One underrated move too. I liked Trey Jones back to the Spurs.
yeah, that was good. That was good.
I thought he was pretty underrated last year. He was their starting point guard for the majority of the season.
Yeah.
And kind of like his brother, I guess it runs in the family. He's a very low turnover type playmaking point guard, and I think that'll be a good guy to have with Wemby in his first year. You can play pick and roll. You could he's a good floater range guy. He can get Wemby to his spots, kind of like a floor general. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. That is true. I like Trey Jones. I like that deal too. It's pretty nice. I mean, actually,
I think the Bulls.
My bad.
Huh?
My
I think
bad.
the Bulls did some decent business, and Thomas Bryant just signed a 2-year deal with Miami.
Interesting.
Interesting. I like that. I like that.
5 million. Yeah, I mean, I think the Bulls did some decent business, honestly, like getting Javon Carter and re-signing Vooch and Kobe White on not too egregious deals. Like,
yeah,
I think they're pretty team-friendly deals. And if they decide to blow it up, getting rid of Levine and DeRozan, I think they could have some if they do decide to use them as trade pieces, those are pretty good trade pieces, I think. Good salaries to trade. But for the time being, obviously it's unfortunate to see the state that Lonzo's in, so he's not going to be able to play the season again. So they
Yeah.
do add some more guard depth. Javon Carter being like that kind of defensive style guard, and then Kobe White there, it's kind of growing. But yeah, I think that's pretty underrated. I don't think they're really going to be able. I don't really think they're going to be doing anything like playoff wise or anything, but I guess just to stay in that kind of play-in-ish relevant type environment, that they made some decent moves.
I was
Not
gonna,
like being too desperate.
yeah, I was gonna say I like the Javon Carter value there. He's he's always been a floor spacer guy. We talk about him a lot on this podcast, but I think a lot of Bulls fans are pretty disappointed, not because of the deal or anything like that, but just because like the moves that they made, like bringing back Vucevic on that 3-year deal, bringing in Javon, it kind of like they still haven't committed to a full direction yet. They're just like you said, they're kind of still in that like middle, like Toronto. So I don't like with the moves that they made, I don't expect them to look to trade DeRozan, Levine just yet, just because I don't know. It seems like they're still going to try to go for it one more year and try to replicate what they did with Lonzo. With like they got Javon now, still have Caruso. Like they still did like retain their defensive identity last year. They were a top 10 defense, which with the roster they have was pretty surprising. Like they have a pretty good system in place there, but yeah, like I don't know, like you said, I don't think they're good enough to compete with the top end of the East.
Yeah.
So it's just I think some Bulls fans are probably a little bit disappointed that they didn't choose a specific direction just yet.
Yeah, I agree. And I was just about to say it too. Like, as weird as it was, like the Caruso, the Balzac thing with like Caruso and all there, and too, like I feel like it was weird as it was constructed, but it was also a very fun team to watch. Like it's just like the defense was crazy. But as just a quick like aside, I was gonna say like Aaron just said about the Lonzo thing, like it's just terrible. Like it just sucks about what's going on with him. And I was just about to say, so I feel like at this point or before he got injured, like Lonzo's become like the perfect point guard. You know what I mean? Like his 3-point shot came around. He had size, great on-ball defense, playmaking.
His last playing year was awesome, dude. He was like off ball really good too, which I never thought I would see from Lonzo.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like he just developed all the right skills. Like his defense was great, playmaking was everything. Like his explosiveness was there. Like he could shoot. Like his jump shot got a lot better. Like it just sucks to see what happened. And like I said, like again, like I feel like even with him, like obviously like the team would be better, but it's gonna be a similar thing. Like I still don't think they'd be in the top echelon of teams, but like they were still fun to watch and shit. So it is true. Like it's weird they're not committing to a direction, I guess, like per se, but yeah, I'm curious what they're going to do, because I think this year nothing's going to change much. And then
they already confirmed that he's not going to play this whole season. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so. Like I
saw a thing yesterday.
Yeah,
it said that if it came to that they can get like an exception if they deem that like Lonzo's injury is career ending or something like that.
Yeah, right. So I mean,
it's sad that it's coming to this point, but after it's nearly 3 years now, I guess, that he's played.
Is it 3 years? I thought it was 2 years.
It's 2 years, but I mean, after this season, it'll be near 3.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know, man. It sucks, but you're right though. I mean, I like the Javon Carter pickup. I thought that was pretty good. I guess he's supposed to be like a diet Lonzo for that team.
He's probably gonna start, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if Pat Bev's gonna come back now. He might. I saw that he was rumored to be interested. Boston had interest.
That's interesting. Boston would be cool. I like him in Miami too. That'd be cool.
That would be decent, I guess.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny about the Thomas Bryant thing that Denver traded us 3 second rounders for him, just for him to not play and leave.
To be behind DeAndre Jordan in the rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they literally just gave away 3 picks for nothing, essentially.
So we don't really want to go ahead and take it.
Thomas Bryant didn't want to play with LeBron anymore because when LeBron scored his bucket to become the franchise's all-time leading scorer, he was calling for it in the post.
For the ball.
Yeah. And now he's behind Bam. So Good luck.
I feel like he get burned in Miami. I feel like they could use him. He's a good like center.
They got to toughen him up on defense.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I feel like he'll change with the Spoelstra system, but I like that pickup for them. I think he's a pretty nice center to have, especially behind Bam. You can be playing Bam like that. Like they don't have really good center depth like that. It's just him and Yurtseven, so I like that pickup for them. But I guess another thing before we wrap up real quick, speaking of Miami, Josh Richardson did go back on a 2-year, $5.9 million deal, so I feel like that's pretty good value for him. I think that's pretty good.
That is pretty good value for him.
Yeah,
back to his roots.
Exactly, back to his roots. He's back in the system, and they lost, Strus and Vincent, so get another wing, 3-and-D wing is pretty good. And then Kevin Love went back. I forgot what the deal was. It doesn't say on here, but that's cool. And then just staying in Florida, we went to Orlando real quick. I think Joe Ingles to the Magic was very, very interesting. 2-year, $22 million.
Just adds another lengthy, versatile guy for them.
Exactly.
The roster at this point.
Yeah. They're pulling discount Raptors, where it's all just versatile guys. So I just thought it was a really interesting move. I didn't think the bet of his thing would, go to the Magic. I think he still, try to go for like a championship team. But that's interesting fit.
They gave him the bag though. They gave him like almost a full MLE.
Yeah, right. So
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
But what's it called? One under the radar. I don't really think it's under the radar. I don't know if he's gonna play all too much. But the Grizzlies are bringing in D Rose just to be a mentor for Ja, I guess.
Yeah.
That's kind of important for their locker room at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I hope he gets burned because I want to see Derrick Rose play. I mean, but yeah, that was a good pickup.
I saw they might give him some burn, but he hasn't really played like that in the last 2 years with the Knicks. So.
Yeah, no, that's the issue though. But I mean, that's why I kind of want to sign him and have him as our backup point guard and replace Ricky. But yeah, it's gonna be curious what they do.
I mean, if his pull up mid range is still there, like it was with what team was he on before the Knicks? Was it Pistons that he got a couple years with?
Yeah,
because I remember he had like a little resurgence here with the Pistons.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. So if his pull up jumper's still there, then
I feel like he can still play. It's just a matter of giving him those minutes and giving him that role. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a good pickup. They were saying on Twitter that they gave Ja GD. Like they're surrounding him with GDs in the locker room now. So that shit was funny.
All the memes were coming out. It was a picture of Ja and D Rose and said Guns and Roses.
But I mean that's really it though, right? Nothing really else.
So far. No, we still have a long way to go. It's just the first day of free agency.
Yeah, I mean, I guess pretty
sturdy. Still got to wait for. We got Harden and Lillard to wait for now. So
exactly.
There's still dominoes that we're waiting on to fall.
Yeah.
Brook Lopez is still out there.
Yeah.
I still think he's going to go back to Milwaukee, but the fact that it's taking this long is a little interesting. I guess there's teams that are offering him like 20 mil range. Probably Houston.
Yeah. What are they cooking down there?
They're the only ones with like significant money left.
Yeah.
And then Christian Wood is still another one. It doesn't seem like he's going to be having him and Oubre. I don't think they're going to be having too much value around the league just because of their play styles. But
I'm fine with that. Listen,
I mean, at the end of the day, they're both like guys who are going to put points on the board. So getting a flyer on one of them to come off your bench, be like just kind of be like a heat check scorer. There's not like that wouldn't be too bad for the right price.
Bro, I'm just saying if we cap off our offseason with Christian Wood, I wouldn't say I'm not saying Jackson for next year. Like I'm not gonna complain about shit. Like you know what I mean? Like
I guess Westbrook's waiting on Harden on if he goes back to the Clippers or not. I mean, I guess he could still technically go back also if Harden is there, but I guess they're waiting on maybe they'll give Russ like a little bit of a raise if they don't get Harden. Maybe I guess that's what he's waiting on. D'Lo, obviously, like we said, and Reeves. We already covered that with the Lakers. They'll probably both be back, more than likely. But yeah, there's not really too many big names left, I don't think.
Yeah, definitely some interesting pieces though. Again, like you said, like a lot of, I guess, like cheaper contracts depending on how a team wants to cook. But yeah, I mean, I think that's really it, guys. I mean, Summer League is starting next or a couple of days actually. What is it, 5th? I think.
I think the Sacramento Summer League is like this week.
Yeah, I think it's like
California Classic. That's on 3rd. It's on Monday.
Oh shit! Yeah. All right, so yeah, we got NBA action day after tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? We got all the news coming in, so that's definitely good. You know what I mean? So Definitely good to be back, guys. I mean, hopefully again, it's my 70th time saying this on the show. Hopefully we can get back to just an uploading schedule. Obviously gonna be a little bit harder with topics for the NBA offseason, but maybe we'll bring back the conspiracy theories series.
Serious? Let's do it.
But yeah, guys. Actually, maybe a Twitch channel too. I don't know. Maybe do some team up live streams on. I don't know, vibe. I'm being expanding. I don't know. Let me cook.
Garbage game though.
Huh?
Garbage game.
23. I agree. 22. Beautiful.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know it's a bit of a longer episode. There was a lot of things to talk about. I guess partially that's our fault because we could have segmented it with separate episodes. But yeah, definitely off to a good start. I feel like in free agency, you know what I mean. A lot of good, especially with the whole Damian Lillard thing and the Harden things heating it up. So a lot more people might be in the mix, and a lot of people are in the move, maybe multiple team deals and all that. So definitely stay tuned. I think we're trying to get more episodes out the way. Like I said, summer league starting up, so we got actions coming up. It shouldn't be, we're not in a drought or anything like that. So, but we good. Jamel Patel says do a live stream ball at Municipal. That's one thing we can do. You know what I mean?
You gotta pull up, though.
Huh?
I said Jamel's got to pull up though.
Yeah, Jamal got to pull up though. That's the part. I mean, fan we never met before because we're international podcasting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you to our German crowd.
Yeah, German crowd. Danke schön. And to our Ruben crowd, what's up, baby? Yeah, man, great times. And I was gonna say something I forgot. Anyway, I don't know, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am signing off. My personal self, I'm gonna sign off. Boys, you want to say goodbye?
Everyone, we'll be back before the summer ends. I promise you that.
It's a nice timeline. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. We did have I think we had about 2,000 viewers today. So just want to thank you guys. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. And the YouTube streams have been on fire. I know there's been a lot of demand. I really appreciate it. We all do. Yeah. I can't wait. I heard ESPN had some layoffs, so I know we're taking their spot soon. So yeah.
Not to spoil anything, but we might be in the mix.
Things that happened. We were outside the HQ a couple weeks ago. So
we were.
So they saw us on the CCTV camera. So they are aware.
They're trying to get rid of the cap space. You know what I mean? They're trying to sign. They're getting ready. It's like free agency.
Yeah.
So,
but regardless, it's only July 1st, so there is a lot of news to be made so far, or upcoming in free agency, and potentially some trades coming up. We'll see how summer league goes, but yeah, ready to see what happens.
Sounds good.
All right, boys. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, my bad. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Bada bing, bada boom. Mr. Worldwide, want to step in.